Democrat spokesperson L. Pinkerton.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. It gives me no pleasure to say it that this bill fails the Chagossian people. For decades, decisions about the Chagos Islands have been taken without the consent of those most affected. The treaty continues that injustice, offering no guaranteed right of return, no legally binding resettlement plan, and no meaningful protection of Chagossian rights. The Liberal Democrats support negotiations with Mauritius and respect for international law, but never at the expense of Chagossian dignity. The treaty as it stands lacks transparency, environmental safeguards and accountability for the substantial public expenditure it entails. That's why we tabled 7 amendments to inscribe parliamentary oversight, to protect the marine environment, to uphold Chagossian rights to self-determination. These include provisions for scrutiny of ministerial decisions, mandatory environmental reporting and a referendum of the Chagossian people themselves. We also called for full financial transparency and a review of the welfare of Chagossians living in the UK, many of whom continue to face hardship as a direct result of historic displacement. This is not merely a matter of geopolitical assets or territorial claims. It's about justice, belonging and moral responsibility to those who call the Chagos Islands home. I thank the Minister for Europe, North America and the Overseas Territories for the numerous conversations that we've had during the passage of this bill. He's been generous with his time. I am disappointed, however, that he didn't feel able to accept some of the amendments and suggestions that I made during that process. But to finish, I finish with the words lifted from the UN Charter, a document this country helped to shape. The purpose of the United Nations is to develop friendly relations among nations based on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples. That right has been denied to the Chagossian people for more than 50 years. So I urge members and right honourable members across this House when voting this evening to think carefully about whether they wish to compound that half-century injustice or whether they embrace the foundational principles of the UN. If they do, and if we do as a House, then we cannot allow this bill to pass without ensuring that it is Chagossians themselves who are sovereign over their citizenship, over the governance of their islands and over the prospect of return. And I would ask the honourable and right honourable members to my right-hand side, who have lauded the efforts of the Chagossian people, but then who sat on their hands when they had the opportunity to give Chagossians the right to a referendum, whether they wish to keep chuntering from sedentary positions. So in direct response to the Minister, who made a challenge at the committee stage, I would just say that the forced displacement of a people does not and cannot annul the identity or the rights of the Chagossians as a people. To suggest otherwise perpetrates the disgraces of the past and is a sentiment that is unworthy of this bill and of this House.